25 December 1991, the brutal cold of Moscow. A cold that doesn't just freeze the body, but freezes entire systems. Above the Kremlin, a flag is lowered for the last time. That red flag which once flew over half the world. There are no gunshots, no explosions, no final battle scene. Just a piece of cloth slowly bowing toward the ground. The world rushes to deliver its verdict. Communism has failed. Capitalism has won. The Cold War is over. But that is only the surface story. The real story is not being written in speeches, not in protests, not inside tanks. The real story is being written in accounting ledgers, in budget files, and inside empty vaults. The Soviet Union did not lose a war. No one overthrew it. It simply collapsed because the money ran out. This is the story of a superpower that could build nuclear bombs, send satellites into space, but could not control bread lines inside its own cities. In the 1960s, deep inside the frozen forests of Western Siberia, lay a land where survival itself was difficult. Here, Soviet scientists discovered something beneath the ground that they believed would change their destiny: oil. And this was not just oil, it was one of the largest oil and gas reserves on Earth. For the Kremlin, it felt like a miracle. They told themselves there was no longer a need to fix the system, no need for reforms, no need to work harder. Factories were outdated, sell oil. Farms were inefficient, sell oil. Technology was falling behind, sell oil. Oil replaced planning, oil replaced reform. Then came the oil crisis of the 1970s. War erupted in the Middle East. OPEC cut supply. Oil prices skyrocketed. For the Soviet Union, this became a gold rush. Dollars flooded into Moscow, hard currency, real money. A system weak on the inside began to look powerful from the outside. And this is where the biggest mistake began. With oil money, the Kremlin bought peace. Bread was cheap, rent was cheap, jobs were guaranteed. The people were told to forget politics because the state would handle everything. Eastern Europe received massive subsidies. Warsaw Pact nations ran on Soviet money. The largest army on Earth stood permanently ready. From above, everything looked perfect. But deep inside, one question was never asked: what if oil becomes cheap? The entire country stood on a single pillar: the price of oil. There was no productivity, no innovation, no efficiency, just oil. As long as the barrel was expensive, the Soviet Union was a superpower. But the world was quietly changing. America and Europe began using less fuel. Energy efficiency improved. Nuclear power expanded. New technology emerged. Then oil from the North Sea and Alaska entered the market. Supply increased. Demand slowed. And for a system standing on a single pillar, this was slow poison. At the same time, the Soviet farming system began to collapse. Despite the fertile lands of Ukraine, the Soviet Union could not fully feed its own people. Then came a humiliating moment. They were forced to buy grain from their enemy, the United States, selling oil to buy wheat. It was a clear warning, but drunk on oil money, no one listened. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev came to power. He was young, intelligent, and eager for change. He believed the system had slowed down. What he didn't realize was that the system wasn't slow, it was in the ICU. His plan was simple. Oil money would fund reforms: perestroika, glasnost, openness, change. Then came September 1985, and the world's largest oil player made a move. Saudi Arabia flooded the oil market. Production ran at full speed. Oil that once sold for $30 to $35 suddenly fell to around $10.
This wasn't just a price drop, it was a direct strike to the heart of the Soviet economy. Income was cut in half, but expenses remained the same. Military spending, subsidies, imports, the Afghan war, all unchanged. It was like a household living a luxurious lifestyle and suddenly having its salary cut in half. The choices were brutal. Cut the military budget and the generals rebel. Cut food subsidies and the people starve. So the easiest path was chosen: debt. Western banks agreed to lend because everyone believed a superpower never defaults. But this debt wasn't used to build factories, it was used simply to survive. Then came another mistake: a ban on vodka. Vodka taxes were a major source of state revenue. The ban killed the money, not the alcohol. People began producing it at home. The state earned nothing. By 1988, the budget had collapsed. Now the government had only one option left: print money. Rubles flooded the system, but goods did not. Stores were empty. People saw a line and joined it without asking why. Whatever you could get today, you took. Tomorrow was uncertain. This is where the social contract broke. Before, freedom was limited, but stability existed. Now, even stability was gone. After 1989, Eastern Europe broke away. The republics stopped paying taxes. The president had missiles, but no money. The August 1991 coup failed because tanks cannot repair an economy. On 25 December 1991, Mikhail Gorbachev resigned, not because the army surrounded him, but because the system could no longer sign a check. The Soviet Union was finished. The Cold War was not won by missiles, it was won by a grain shipment that could no longer be afforded. This story teaches us one thing: natural resources are not wealth, they only buy time. And when time runs out, empires fall with it. I'm John, and this was Cinematic History. Subscribe, because history isn't just memory, it's a warning for the future.